All right, so sorry we had some technical difficulties. If you're just joining us, we're live for Miami and Texas A&M. This is your first time on the channel. I run the channel Kovark Sports, make sports videos. I'm here with Brivical, who's an Oklahoma fan. He sometimes makes some sports videos. I'm a Nebraska fan, but we sometimes just like to hop on here and react to these games live. And right now, as we join the game, it's 4th and 6 for A&M. It looked like they're trying to get Miami off sides, and it's going to be a false start on Texas A&M instead. So a brutal outcome there for the
Both of
Aggies.
these teams have had some troubles with the penalties this year.
So it's now 4th and 11, and the Aggies are going to have to punt.
I don't think your mic is coming through the stream.
That's wonderful. Here.
Punt rolls out of bounds at the 8-yard line. First down and 10 for the Hurricanes.
Every day
We answer the
I
call.
believe we're good.
to work when
Let's go, bud. Hurry up. Come on. I'm a baseball dad. Just because I didn't go pro.
I believe we're coming through. Again, if you're just joining us, sorry, a bunch of technical difficulties. We're looks like we got 10 people on the stream right now, so thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, if this is your first time here, this is a live broadcast of the actual game, not a pirate stream or anything. This is just we'll have some crowd audio in the background, live crowd audio, and then I'm just we're doing a live reaction to the game with some graphics up on the screen. I haven't been updating those yet, as again, having some technical difficulties. First time in about a year I think we've done this. But again, if you're first time joining us, I run the channel Kovark Sports, make sports videos, and sometimes like to hop on live for some live reactions to games. I'm joined by Brivical, his channel in the description. Again, Nebraska fan and Oklahoma fan, so no ties to this game in particular, but your team had quite a result last night.
Yeah. It was a good season, whatever.
Well, it's better than it was for quite a while.
Quite a while. I mean, like 1 year.
Well, but you guys hadn't made the playoffs since the Joe Burrow year, right? I think
That's
so.
true. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess you could say progress. First one of the Brent Venables era. I think what'll really sting for Oklahoma fans is 17-point blown lead. But regardless, Alabama will move on and will play Indiana in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. The winner of this game will get Ohio State, I believe, in the Sugar Bowl, but I might be off on that.
I
Actually,
think that's right.
it's either the Sugar Bowl or I think it's actually the Peach Bowl, if I remember right. But regardless, the winner of this game, they don't care where they're playing. They just want to play Ohio State for a chance at a potential national title. Again, 4 games away, but there's 12 teams, now 11, but 11 teams that if they get hot, any of them can win it. There's no more conversation. There's no more subjectivity. It's all real games from here on out to decide the national champion. As Carson Beck will stroll out there for the Hurricanes. Wearing number 11, the Georgia transfer in his first year with Miami. That pass swung out. It'll be 3 yards to Keelan Marion. Number 0, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 7. So here, we'll see if we could update the down marker there. And now the first handoff of the game for Miami. And it'll be a quick burst up the gut for a first down. And the Hurricanes already moved the chains. So first and 10 Miami. Mark Fletcher with the 7-yard carry. And now looks like a little bit of a wildcat formation, as this will be number 10, Malachi Tony with the carry. It looks like he'll get about 2 or 3 yards right there.
Maybe trying to set him up for something later in the game.
That's give those looks early and potentially set yourself up for perhaps a trick play downfield. Looks like Carson Beck will check back into the game for a 2nd and 8. Clock running, now under 7:30, halfway through this first quarter. Beck will swing it out, and that'll get them a couple yards, but the yield is mild. Alex Bowman, the tight end, gets 3 yards, but for the first time today, the 12th man will get to flex their muscles. It's a 3rd and 5 for Miami. Back with 2 backs on either side. It'll actually be Bowman on his right. You have Fletcher, the running back, on his left. He's going to look to pass. Bowman blocked for him as a fullback. It did not matter.
Well behind.
Well behind. And it'll fall incomplete. Looks like our stream has picked up some health at this point. We appear to be... Everything is working on the technical side, so should be good to go from here on out. And for the 2nd time today, we'll see a punt. First time by Miami. That will go out of bounds. Again, a very windy day in the deep part of Texas. Aggies will get the ball back. And as per usual, ESPN will check us to a timeout on the field for commercial break. Got to pay the bills somehow. So looking ahead to a full day of the college football playoff. Right now we got this A&M Miami game so far, but a defensive stalemate. What would you like to see for A&M on this drive as they try to generate some offensive momentum?
I think just going back to what was working, some of those short passes, the screen game, and really trying to establish the run game again. I think they kind of went away from it at the end of that last drive, so just not taking negative plays, staying ahead of the chains.
Well, and I think that, they had some shorter routes. The screen passes, a couple worked, a couple didn't, but I think the big thing was those short routes. They had, I believe, a couple curls or an underneath route. And those were just getting 3 or 4 yards. I believe the longest play of the day so far for A&M is like 7 yards. Actually, it's a 9-yard carry by Marcel Reed. But regardless, he was poised 4 for 6, 13 yards on that first drive, plus 14 yards. 14 yards with his legs on 2 carries. And so he was making completing passes, making good reads, but just could not get any big chunk plays. And eventually the drive stalled out. Again, you'll go back to that. They're trying to draw Miami off sides, and then they ended up jumping, offside, off the line themselves. Got an early start, called for a false start, and now it appears we'll be joined by one other member of our crew. We got Flames on here, a
Guys.
old friend of both of us.
Yup.
Yeah, emphasis on old.
He used to join I believe he joined us on one of our live streams way back a few years ago, but we're gonna have him on.
That was an old one. I forgot what game it was.
I believe that was a basketball game. I think UConn and San Diego State.
Yeah.
You and I did that one. I hopped on here again. All of that is archived on the channel. So this will be a first down and 10 for Texas A&M. .6:27 left to go in this first quarter. Go ahead, update the time there. Marcel Reed fakes a sweep and he'll keep it. We talked about how dangerous he was early in this game with his legs. He'll get 6 yards there to bring up a 2nd and 4. That option play has seemed to work well so far for A&M. Not just there, but on the last drive they had a little bit of success with the run game. Owens now on the right in a one-back set for Marcel Reed. He's going to drop back to pass and will end up finding Owens, who will squeak through a couple defenders and pick up a first down.
Nice of Reed to work through his progressions there, work from left to right, and he eventually finds an open guy.
We always like to see our quarterback very clearly go through his reads, no pun intended, with his last name. Again, can be very efficient with the ball, and now he finds his tight end again.
Great protection by the offensive line, made that play possible right there.
That's Nate Borkicher, the Nebraska transfer, for 21 yards over the middle. Again, as a Husker fan, I am very familiar with Nate Borkicher, and he caught the game-winning touchdown pass against Notre Dame in South Bend earlier this year. He's been a good piece for the Aggies. Marcel Reed, another screen. And now it looks like, I believe we have a flag down, or is that another mouth guard? The refs are convening. Looks like we have a penalty.
No, I think it's another mouth guard.
No. Thought the way the official was like walking over to the middle of the field, I have no idea anymore. I did break my glasses yesterday, so I would hope I could see the monitor 2 inches in front of my face, but Marcel Reed had nobody there to fake it to. That ball
came out. Is that incomplete? They're going to call it incomplete on the field, but they might look at that.
He practically lateraled it forward at the feet. I thought it was an incomplete pass.
And they're going to rule it a fumble on the field.
And now they just showed a replay. That looks like that ball was stripped. The way it came forward, I thought it was a pass. For the time being, this is going to be Miami football. Now again, this will definitely go to a review. You can even see the yellow, I guess, mouth guard on the field. And it looks like this is going to be Miami football.
First down and 10 for the Hurricanes from their own 32-yard line.
I have to imagine there's going to be some sort of review. And this doesn't look like it would qualify for an expedited review. This was very close.
Looks like they're just gonna go with the call on the field.
All right, I'll
They
stand
must have-
corrected. That
Must
looked
have seen something in New York.
that looked kind of unclear to me, but Miami will snap the football. And now a run to the right side. Owens. Excuse me, Mark Fletcher. I forgot to flip which roster sheet I was looking at. Well, run to the right side. Again, I'm a Big Ten guy. I've watched some Miami, some Texas A&M football, but again, not, I honestly haven't watched a whole lot of Texas A&M this season. I watched that Notre Dame game, I watched that Texas game, but they really had one of the easiest schedules in the SEC. And so I feel like there's a sense that we don't know how good they are. They've played two really tough opponents. They split those games. Here's another handoff, breaking a tackle.
Direct snap goes to number 10, Malachi Tony, who then hands
And turning the legs.
tackle made by number 5, DJ Hicks.
Is they announce it as Malachi Tony. I believe that was Elijah Lofton, though. And, yep, now they'll correct the stat sheet. 3 yards there on the carry. And now 3 backs along with Beck in the backfield. They'll put one in motion. And now looking for a trick play. Throw it downfield. And that one overthrown. A lot of contact. No flags thrown.
I think that's a good no call there.
I agree. That looked uncatchable and perhaps slightly incidental. Slightly on both players. Beck was actually wide open on the near side of the field. Couldn't throw across his body was Malachi Tony. And now you've got a third
you don't
and
really
7.
expect a running back to make that play there.
Yeah, I mean that would have been one of the better plays we've seen out of this Miami team all year, but it could have went for 6. As now we'll get a stoppage right before the snap. Miami will call their second timeout. 12th man already showing some potential impacts on this game.
2, please. Make that 3 with the
And
one saver card. You weren't.
looks like they will bring this to a commercial break. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Miami 3rd and 7. All right, as we step back in, it's going to be a 3rd and 7 for Miami. Are we surprised by this lack of scoring so far in this game? I feel like, that there's just so many emotions coming into a playoff game. Like we saw Oklahoma last night get out to a really fast start. A lot happened. Feels like it's been very, outside of maybe the fumble, not a whole lot of crazy big plays so far in this game. I guess if you're Miami, what do you look for on this 3rd and 7?
I think you gotta try to buy time for Beck and let him go through his reads. If A&M brings pressure, you gotta have something quick to check down to though.
They've got 8 in the box right now. Some motion for Miami. We'll bring it to 7. A&M shows blitz, and they will. And there it is, a quick screen pass that'll get blown up immediately. A loss of yardage. Malachi Tony on the reception. I believe he lost 4 or 5 yards. And that'll bring up a Miami 4th down.
Great play from the edge there. Read it the whole way.
And Miami will boot it away. This one, a much better punt. A booming punt that's dropped! It's on the ground!
I think he got back on top of it.
You know it's a big play when my voice cracks like that. That ball was rolling on the ground. Hit the returner in the face mask. He came back up with it, but boy, A&M caught a break there. That could have been a disaster. That would have set Miami up with a 1st and goal. Unless A&M gets the ball back and they'll have it 1st and 10. At their own 14. Here's a handoff. Some space. Up the middle. This one, Le'Veon Moss, who again, he's returning from an injury that's had him sidelined since early October. 3 carries for 10 yards so far for him. 4 yards on that one. 2nd and 6. Reed puts his back in motion and now steps up. Has some space, has a 1st down, and will go out of bounds. About 7 yards past the sticks. Another good run for Marcel Reed. He's up to 28 on the ground. Roughly a minute left in this 1st quarter. If you're just joining us, A&M and Miami back and forth so far. 0 points. Really been a field position battle. Neither team really stepping up and showing momentum. It's been pretty subdued by both teams, as Moss is going to lose 2 on that one. That'll bring up a 2nd and 12 for A&M after the run up the middle. This will be Marcel Reed again. That snap off to his right. He corrals it, and then a drop pass by, I believe, Casey Concepcion. Off his fingertips. Would have got about half of what they needed. It'll stop the clock with 14 seconds to go in this 1st quarter. 0-0 game and 3rd and 12. Miami already used 2 timeouts in this first quarter. Reed will throw it underneath, just a check down there. It'll go for maybe a yard. And that'll end your first quarter. At the end of 1, Miami 0, A&M 0, locked in a scoreless bout early. And Miami will be expected to get the ball back when we come back off a A&M punt. As we return for the second quarter, A&M set up with the 4th and 12. Again, not a whole lot of offense by either team up to this point. Aggies have probably moved the ball a little better, but again, had their one really successful drive that was on the brink of the red zone, ended a fumble by Marcel Reed. Drive killer that ultimately gave Miami the ball back. Clearly they did nothing with it. First quarter stats, Reed has 69 all-purpose yards. It is 8 for 11 passing. He's been efficient, but hasn't got a whole lot of yards on each individual pass. Only about 4 per completion. ESPN just showed a graphic. 28 total yards for the Hurricanes in that first quarter. A&M at 82. The defense in getting turnovers has proved to keep this game deadlocked for Miami, as this one's returnable. A little bit of a crease. And it'll be brought back to their own 34 off the punt. Miami will take the ball back. Not a whole lot to look at up to this point for the Hurricanes. Again, Beck 3 for 4 for 5 yards. Their best play was probably right after the takeaway of the Marcel Reed fumble, which was a 10-yard Mark Fletcher carry that went for an immediate first down. That being said, Aggieland on their feet as The defense, a little bit of miscommunication for this first down. It's going to be a handoff back to Fletcher. Excuse me. Check that. It'll be Malachi Tony on the left-hand side of Beck. And a few yards there. Second and 6 now for the Hurricanes. Beck. Play clock down to 10. Stands in the pocket. It's going to throw deep. Has a man but overshot. He was looking way downfield. Again, we talked about taking a shot earlier for these teams. Again, haven't really seen any of the big plays. Miami had one trick play. A&M had the big pass to Nate Borkature, the tight end. If Carson Beck drops that in, that's probably a touchdown. With that being said, 3rd and 6 for the Canes. Beck. And lost the ball on the turf. It looks like Mark Fletcher pounced on it. The second time today we've seen a quarterback drop the ball in the pocket. One for each of these quarterbacks. This one will still be recovered for Miami, but it'll go down as a 6-yard sack. It will bring up a 4th and 12 for the Canes. And now a little bit of pressure on the punt. And whoa! Huge hit.
Didn't call for a fair catch. I don't know if he never saw him. It's impressive that he was able to hold on there.
So no fair catch caught on the punt. And he got rocked. Very brave for that return man not to throw his arm in the air. It was Casey Concepcion.
Well, there's a fine line between brave and stupid, and that might have crossed it.
Definitely.
He gets blown up at his own 25. Check that, the 30. And now 1st and 10 for A&M. So, again, Iowa would be proud of this game so far. It's been a back and forth affair in terms of punts. Marcel Reed fakes the handoff. Now looking deep. There's the shot. Dropped it in. Mario Carver down the field. The biggest play we've seen today.
He dropped it at the last second there. We'll see. That could. It looks like he had football moves. It looks like he had possession there. I'm not sure what happened to the ball if it just went out of bounds at the end of that play. But there is an initial bobble here. He definitely makes some football moves. Then it comes out and it lands out of bounds. So that will be a fumble out of bounds. So nothing hurt for A&M there.
59 yards. And for the first time today, one of these teams penetrates the red zone. Here's a handoff to Ruben Owens. He'll get a yard. But Mario Craver, excuse me, not Carver, Craver, broke free, was streaking down the field, nobody on him. Blown coverage, and A&M in perfect position to break the seal on the scoring in this CFP first round bout. Reed puts a receiver in motion. Owens on his right. Will roll to his left. He can run. He'll throw at the last second. It'll go out of bounds. He could have taken half. It's 2nd and 9. He could have taken 5 yards and set up 3rd and manageable. Why are you throwing that there?
I don't know. I guess he didn't think he could get to the edge there.
He had a little bit of a corner there. By the time he threw it, it was too late. But if he would have committed to that, even if he slid, he could have got half of what he needed. But that being said, it's 3rd and 9. Field goal in their back pocket. But after the huge Mario Craver catch, you know Marcel Reed and company want more than just 3. Here's Reed. He's going to throw and hit immediately. It's his
So
receiver,
decision time.
Terry Bussey. And now a choice to make. Looks like they're going to kick the field goal. I agree with this decision. It's going to be a 4th and 4 for A&M, but it is 0-0 game. They can
Yeah, get the scoring started.
draw first blood, as you say. Got to convert here. It'll be a 22-yard kick. And this one is blocked. Miami gets to it, and now a return. Picked up. And we're still scoreless. Miami
Looks like a
stands
little bit
tall.
low. Looked like a little bit low of a kick there. Didn't quite elevate the kick enough there, and just the D lineman there gets his hand up, gets a little bit lucky, and that's all you need.
Wow. 22-yard field goal. I'll say this, special teams have not... They've probably been the most exciting part of this game so far. A&M muffed a punt and then recollected it. Their returner then proceeded to collect another punt securely, but then not call for a fair catch and definitely feel the effects of it. And then now a blocked field goal. Miami stands tall regardless. What a turn of events. So, Mario Craver had a huge 59-yard catch down the sideline, putting Marcel Reed, he's at 10 for 14, now over 100 yards passing. He's played pretty well outside of his one fumble, only 4 incompletions. He's averaging just under 6 yards per carry. But a very effective quarterback so far, and yet no points to show for it for the Aggies. As Miami will get the ball back. Looking around college football, again at this point in the season, no regular bowls today, just the college football playoff at the FBS level. Then at the lower levels, you've got the semifinals in the FCS and Division III, and the championship in Division II. The only other game that'll be going on, along with ours, with Miami and A&M, will be Johns Hopkins and Wisconsin River Falls D3 semifinal. I don't expect many people will be paying a whole lot of attention to that one as Miami and A&M battle, but we'll keep an eye on it just as a bit of relief from this game. Maybe they'll have some points over there in Wisconsin as the Falcons take on the Blue Jays. I've always found it weird. Johns Hopkins, Division III team in most sports, but is in the Big Ten for lacrosse. Huge lacrosse school. They're now in the semifinals of football with a chance to win a national title.
Yeah, not where you expect to see them.
You know, some people might even be surprised Johns Hopkins has an athletic team, but if you follow college lacrosse, you know that Blue Jays team, they're legit year in and year out, one of the blue bloods of that sport. As we come back to this one after the blocked field goal. Still no scoring. 0 apiece. Beck with his back directly behind him for a 1st and 10. He'll give on the draw. Some blocks downfield and breaking free goes Mark Fletcher. 17 yards, his longest carry of the day, and the longest play yardage-wise for Miami so far?
Guys, I have good news.
Diego?
Got the game up finally.
There you go, our third member of our little watch party here.
Yeah.
Able to finally pull up the game. Some issues with the DirecTV login, you said?
Hope I had to find the right password. Looks like I didn't miss much though. 0-0 still.
Happens to the best of us. There's going to be a pass outside to, I believe that was Malachi Tony. No gain. How about this? Carson Beck, 4 for 6, 4 yards on his 4 completions. Talk about efficiency on the side of Marcel Reed. Not so much so far today for Carson Beck, the Georgia transfer. Under 10 on the play clock, and another handoff. Somebody who has been efficient is Mark Fletcher. He gets the nod here. Averaging almost 10 yards per carry. He'll get a few there and bring up a 3rd and 10. Excuse me, a 3rd and 9, I believe they'll call it.
I actually have a friend who goes to A&M.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a ROTC cadet there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know
So yeah,
that
pretty sure he's at the game.
military connections, obviously, at A&M. And
Yeah.
this crowd gets loud. Cade's either going to have to take a timeout or delay a game as the play clock rolls down. They did not call a timeout. So Aggie Land makes a play. Loss of 5 there. And I'm going to say your friend probably on his feet yelling at the top of his lungs right now. It's 3rd and 13.
Yup. Probably.
I gotta be careful not to get copyrighted. I'm piping in live crowd noise from the home of the 12th man as they play Mo Bamba, get this crowd juiced. 3rd and 13, Beck
pass.
looking to pass. Tucks it under, then flips it out to his fullback. Number 87, Alex Bowman. Gets a few, well short of the sticks, maybe bringing up a 4th and 10, and A&M will get the ball back. I, have my screens full, trying to run the stream. Could one of you look up team stats? I'm curious how many first downs Miami has, because they have really struggled to move the ball.
Let's see.
There's another punt for the Hurricanes.
Let's see.
And this time, the return man will call for a fair catch. Of course, last time
Let's
he
see,
got blown out.
A&M is winning the first down battle 7-3.
3 first downs, all right. So, if I'm being honest, it's a few more than I thought they'd have. It's been a really inefficient game so far,
When you grow up out here,
averaging 1 yard per completion through the air for the Hurricanes. So we'll go to commercial break. I do not believe, so we were talking about this before the game, how last night with your Oklahoma Sooners against Alabama, the timeouts, media timeouts after every single change of possession. I feel like we've had that so far, really cramming the commercials in so far on ESPN. I get it, bills to pay, but you'd really like to see just 5 minutes of football all at once without any media interruptions, but I guess it's not to be. So looking ahead to later today, you got Tulane and Ole Miss, and then James Madison and Oregon. A lot of people writing off the Green Wave and Dukes. You guys think they have any chance?
I think Tulane has a much better chance than James Madison. I think I think Tulane will for sure cover the spread. Um,
17
I
point
think,
dogs, I think.
I mean, it's playoff football. Anything can happen.
Well, I'll say this with Tulane, they are a very physical team. Florida's got a darn good coach coming in John Sumrall. He has built Tulane on the trenches. Used to be the Troy head football coach. He's a guy that has really just built that program up. Of course, he had Willie Fritz, but he ended up going off to Houston, got them that Cotton Bowl win over USC. But a lot of times programs like that will fall off when that coach that built them up leaves. But no, they've been solid, and I know a lot of people point to Ole Miss already beating Tulane this year, 45-10. But a few things, Tulane has got a lot better as the season has gone on. There are a lot of things in that game that went against them, and for Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's gone. You got Pete Golding stepping in for the first time in his life. He's ever been the head coach of a football team. I think he's going to do a great job for them, but it's not easy to just step into the scene and be a head football coach, immediately. Like, that's so. I don't know. Do
Yeah.
you think we see some issues there for Ole Miss?
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes one of two ways. You either come out with fire and kind of angry, and you play better because of it, or you lack like discipline and sharpness in your play calling, and you play worse. I guess it really remains to be seen.
Well, and some of the players in interviews have said they've actually viewed this in some ways as a positive change. It's given them motivation. We'll see how Tulane will stack up on the lines of scrimmage, but again, very physical team. With that whole Lane Kiffin distraction, wouldn't put it past the Green Wave to make that one interesting, at the very least for a half.
Officially no gain on the play. Second down.
Returning to A&M in Miami, Ruben Owens gets the call. No gain on 1st and 10. The Sickos committee definitely enjoying this one so far. A 0-0 affair. Marcel Reed now. Will give the handoff to Owens. Stays on his feet. Cruz past one tackle. Just about broken to the second level. It'll be 3rd and short. Call it about 2.
An 8-yard gain to the 36-yard line of Texas A&M. 2nd and 2.
8 yards for Ruben Owens. Him and Le'Veon Moss have combined for a total of 12 yards today. Marcel Reed with most of their rushing yards. And now we've got a marker on the field.
False start, number 71. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Let's go 3rd down.
And calling a false start on A&M. Again, in the background, live audio from College Station of the PA announcer, the crowd, and the refs. A little on the quieter side, not trying to get copyright, as that is technically piped in from ESPN, but good to let you all listen live to crowd reactions. Quiet in Aggieland for a 3rd and 7 for Marcel Reed. As he'll check it out, another screen pass, getting past 1, 2, and almost breaking free for a 1st down, 5 yards. Goes Smith, and he'll jar in the face of number 84, the defender that brought him down. Regardless of 4th and 2. Check that. That was actually number 12 on the defense for Miami. E.J. Smith will be credited with about 5 yards on the reception. Did well to break a couple tackles. And now we'll get another punt. And
What a
this
run.
is returnable.
What a run.
Wow,
Holy
breaking
crap.
the left side. Down the sideline. Special teams have been the third.
Wow, shoestring tackle.
The third way of the game today.
Was that the turf monster tackling him?
No, I think that the last guy just got a fingertip on the toe there. Was
Oh,
able to
So
trip him up.
I actually couldn't tell. I was trying to decide. Yeah, looks like he was just tripped up. That was
I guess
unexpected. I was
barely.
trying to come up with the words for it. Special teams. Yeah, it looks like he got tripped up. Special teams, though, without a doubt. Oh, no, he tripped himself up.
Oh, wow.
There, zoomed in. Okay, so sorry, I was trying to make sense of that play. It looks like, though, he actually might have tripped himself up. Regardless, about a 50-yard return off the punt for Miami, their best field position of the day. Mark Fletcher will barrel forward for about a yard.
Brought down by number 17, Regis.
Second and 9. So again, special teams have really been the main metric of this ball game. Blocked field goal for A&M, a near muffed punt, and then a poor decision to not call a return, or to not call a fair catch. Now this is a weird formation. They move a few of their linemen to the right side, and now a sweep given to Malachi Tony. Very weird formation there. They moved half of their offensive line to the right side of the field. Stacked with their wide receivers. Still a legal formation with enough down linemen. Now a 3rd and 8, and the 12th man roars once more. Beck. And he's sacked.
Immediately put down.
Number 25, I believe that's Banks that gets in there. Rips him down, and now this is going to be a long field goal attempt. 46 yards on 4th and 14. Miami will now get a chance to break the scoring drought, but they will have to do so in front of a ruckus crowd. Officially a 47-yard attempt. That kick is up. It's no good. We stay scoreless.
Wow. Who will anyone ever score?
A 50-yard punt return yields no points for Miami. Brutal. Aggies will get the ball back. And we'll once again go to commercial break. So check it in. So the only other game in all of the NCAA going on right now is a D3 semifinal. Johns Hopkins at Wisconsin River Falls. We told you we'd keep you up to date on that one. A little more scoring in that one. That game just kicked off. 11:48 to go into the first quarter. Not even 4 minutes in. The Blue Jays 7, the Falcons 7. Each team trading touchdowns early. A little more fireworks up in River Falls than what we've had in College Station. I'm actually curious. I wonder how Twitter's taking all this. It's always a dangerous thing to say, but I think we're okay for football. So one thing I always find interesting is Texas A&M, their college police force actually live tweets from the game uh, little blurbs about who they've kicked out of the game and for what. Well, apparently there was a person in section 334 that was throwing eggs from the stands.
Eggs.
Yes, a carton of eggs. Not sure how they got in there. It reminds me of when somebody brought in mustard to throw on the field at that Tennessee Ole Miss game about 4 years ago. But
What's their X account?
just TAMU police. But
Oh, okay.
they've got a lot of followers this season. It's kind of become a thing. Someone brought in a lot of beer stuck in, but that's, to be expected.
That was 4 minutes ago. That egg report.
Yeah. So we'll keep you updated on Egggate from College Station. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and update the time. I don't have a working clock or anything. I just update the time intermittently on our scoreboard here. Typically, the scoreboard, the main thing it does is a touchdown graphic. Well, haven't really had any touchdown or field goal to use yet, so I'd like my graphics to get used at some point. Here's Marcel Reed. He'll step up in the pocket, and he'll break a tackle on a first down, 11 yards there on the first play of this drive. So what is Texas A&M got to do? I mean, they've played relatively efficiently. 11 for 15, Marcel Reed, 39 yards. Finishing drives has just been the problem. Another 2 yards up the gut. Like, if you're Mike Elko or their coaching staff, what are you telling your players? Like, we got to get points to end the half, right?
Yeah, I think you just gotta you gotta take care of the football. Like, we've seen a lot of fumbles today. You gotta hold on to the football.
Fundamentals, what it ultimately comes down to. Looks like we got another bot in the chat. We'll go ahead and take care of that. Here's Reed. He's going to throw out another screen pass and a little bit of a burst of speed, riding the sideline. Goes Mario Craver. He was the one who had that 59-yard reception earlier. The biggest play for A&M. The biggest play for Miami was that 55-yard punt return. So, special teams really has been this game. Missed field goal and a blocked field goal for Miami and A&M respectively. As we're going to hit the timeout, 2-minute timeout, excuse me. 3rd and 4 coming up for A&M in a scoreless game. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back to Aggie Land. End of the 2-minute timeout, 3rd and 4 for A&M. No college football game, playoff game, in its 12-year history has went to the half scoreless. We might have that here as there's a drop. A short
Just tried to get a little angle route out of the backfield. No one around him. Threw it a little too far in front of him, and he just couldn't bring it in.
So 4th and 4, and A&M will boot it away. But again, we have never seen a scoreless first half in a college football playoff game. 12 years of the CFP through multiple different formats. We're 1 minute and 56 seconds away from about the most boring history you could possibly imagine. But I kind of like it. I kind of like these. You know, if nobody scores, the game has to be close. And, whoa, it's a fake! Down the field, and it's incomplete!
Oh,
What?
wow, he almost brought that in with one hand, but he couldn't quite bring it in.
That was Ashton Bethel Roman on the left-hand side as the punter threw it. Actually, not a bad pass. But why are we doing that here? I mean, seriously, you pinned the ball, I believe. I guess Miami gets the ball out of the half, but still, if you boot that away, you're going to pin Miami back pretty far deep, assuming your coverage unit recovers from last time. And probably go into the half tied. Now Miami with great field position again. Curious decision by Mike Elko. Regardless, Beck and company already in plus territory to start this drive. And Mark Fletcher gets another nod. He's up to 41 yards. He'll get a modest pair there. Now this is where timeouts come into play. Miami used 2 in the first quarter. The Hurricanes have 1, and this clock is ticking under 1:30. Beck in a single back set. Puts a man in motion, and he'll hand it off to Fletcher. Nowhere to go. Meets a group of Aggies. It's 3rd and long with under a minute to go. If you're A&M, do you consider using timeouts?
I don't think so. I think you don't help them out. You know, if they convert here, yeah, I only have 1 timeout, so you don't want to help them out here.
Still going to be a tall task. One of the toughest places to play in college football. A playoff first round game. 3rd and 8 and now whistles. Play clock was down to 4. And A&M will use their first timeout. First of the half for the Aggies. 32 seconds on the clock. Again, if you're just joining us, the way I update the scoreboard, no actual clock on there or downs. I just update the downs when there's a brief break in the action and then the clock once in a while. Just so that way after the stream we can kind of go back for whatever reason and find times. But again, pretty low-key broadcast, but we got about 70 people in here right now, so appreciate you for joining us. And plenty of bots along the way. Here's 3rd and 8. Aggies on their feet. Diego, your friend, probably one of them. Here's Beck in the pocket, steps up, sails one high, and caught. C.J. Daniels, his first catch of the game. 14 yards and a first down. Clock will stop momentarily. Hurricanes.
This is exactly why you don't use timeouts earlier. Clock's still winding down. Under 20 seconds. Only one timeout for Miami.
Beck throws to the sideline, bobbled, and caught, and out of bounds. 10 seconds to go. And now they say incomplete. That is close.
That is really close. They might want to take a closer look at this, and they will.
We've already seen Miami miss one field goal today. These extra 8 yards, especially in a very windy day in College Station, could make a huge difference in whether we see points. I will say this, last time we went live for a college football game, it was Ohio State and Oregon last year. That game had 42 combined points going into the half, 34-8 Ohio State. The Miami Hurricanes and the A&M Aggies have 0 through 29 minutes and 50 seconds of play. Diego, I
That's
think
a really close play there.
Diego, I think if you still hadn't found your DirecTV login, still wouldn't have missed much of anything.
No kidding.
I think he got it. He bobbled it, but then recollected it and had 2 feet down as he went out of bounds. Again, they just have to ask, did he fully complete the process of the catch? Where's his
Matt
feet?
often thinks that's a completion.
See, they came in and said complete, then changed the call to incomplete, and now they're reviewing it, but the official ruling on the field is incomplete. I think it's pretty clear he caught it, but
After review, number 9 has firm possession of the ball inbounds at the 22-yard line. It'll be second
And they will give him the catch.
all right. So the call is overturned.
10 seconds left.
And now it'll be a 2nd and 2. A&M plays. I got to talk over this. They're playing power right now. They're the song perhaps most associated with their game day atmosphere. This crowd on their feet. 2nd and 2. 11 seconds to break. Carson Beck.
Oh, way overthrown.
He's got Fletcher on his right and way overthrown at the corner of the end zone. 7 seconds. Now they've saved the 1 timeout. Do you look for maybe a short over the middle pass? Because again, they missed 1 field goal today. As is, it would be on the left hash. A very windy day in College Station.
I don't know. We'll see what they do here.
I'm looking at the flags at the top of the stadium. It looks like what wind there is would be going against them and perhaps pushing the ball a little bit to the right of the goalposts. Beck, he'll throw to the sideline incomplete. 4 seconds come off. It's 4th and 2. No game in the history of the college football playoff, which has spanned 12 years of one of the great American sports, has ended in a 0-0 tie at the half. Miami and Texas A&M are combined 0 for 2 on field goals today. This a 40-yarder to avoid history. That kick is up. It's no good. Missed it again.
0-0.
We will have 0-0-0 half.
The 2nd missed field goal today by Miami.
Way off.
I think he was trying to compensate for some wind, but man, I'm not sure about that one. So your halftime score, the number 10 Miami Hurricanes 0, and the Texas A&M Aggies number 7 in the country also 0. We are going to take a break for halftime. We'll be back at the start of the third quarter where Miami will get the football, but again, taking a quick break. Stick with us. We'll join the call once again, just a couple minutes right before the half. Again, 0-0 will be Miami ball when we return. All right, welcome back. As we're about to get started with the second half, Miami going to take the ball through 30 minutes, no score by either team. That's the first time that has happened in the 12-year history of the college football playoff.
Very eventful game, as you can see.
3 combined missed field goals. And now the ball is rolling on the ground and fell off the kicking tee. We're going to get a holder. This crowd is actually pretty quiet right now. The music is... I feel like there's just no energy right now. Which, I mean, it's hard to be juiced when it's 0-0, but still.
Yeah.
We're underway again from College Station after a 22-minute rest. It'll be a fair caught at the end zone. Oh, they're playing feed. Oh boy. See, I don't know, like, if it's quiet and it's, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna get copyrighted for, but
Yeah.
I guess
That'd be fun.
I guess that's the game we play.
Steps back.
If you're just joining us, I run the Kovark Sports Channel. I'm here with Brady from the Vertical Channel. Then we got Diego in here too.
As Miami gets the half started with a nice little 15-yard completion, almost as many passing yards as they had the entire first half.
Yep, there you go. Pretty big first play right there.
Oh,
That is
a good run right there.
dagger down the field. Looked like a little bit of a wheel / curl route. And Beck will throw again to the left side, breaking a tackle. And breaking another, making the guy lose his ankles. 2 plays. Marion with the catch there. His first of the ball game. Hurricanes in plus territory.
Okay, I'm aligned with you guys' stream now.
There we go. We're all watching in different places, so just got to get us all linked up. Again, for everybody joining us, I'm a Nebraska fan here with a Oklahoma and Ohio State fan. No affiliation, just hoping for some good football and how about some good defense. Searcy in the backfield for a TFL. We've seen a lot of drives stall out today. Is that right there what's going to kickstart a little bit of stall? Caleb Marion loses 4 on that carry. That's his first carry of the ball game. He's got 3 catches for 33 yards in the receiving battle. And Beck comes out with a diamond formation of wide receivers on his right. No backs with him. He's going to throw to the opposite side of the field to a single wide receiver, and it's Marion. His 4th catch of the ball game. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 4. And for the first time this half, Aggie land on their feet. A 10-yard pass from Carson Beck. 1 back set. He's going to hand it off. Breaking away. Fletcher runs into his own man, but gets down to the 12. And this might be the most efficient offensive drive yet today for Miami.
Seem to have made some halftime adjustments, and they are working right now. 1st and goal from the 10.
Mark Fletcher, his longest carry of the ball game, the largest offensive play of the ball game for the Hurricanes, 24 yards. It's 1st and goal. The first and goal of the entire game for either team.
Texas A&M has called their first charge timeout.
And now A&M calls a timeout. Brutal as the second half just kicks off. They're down to 2 for the rest of the ball game.
So for Mom, I was thinking.
And ESPN will take advantage and go to the half. So how about this? Miami, we've seen them get down the field before, but do we think this feels a little different?
Definitely a lot
I
more
mean, they
momentum.
marched right down.
They're moving quickly.
I could see at least a field goal happening in this play. Probably.
Well, it's still to go. You'd very much hope they could get a
Or
field.
or we get another block happening.
That's true.
Yeah, Miami's missed 2 field goals today. I have a feeling that even though a field goal would finally put points on the board, I think they're going to be at least moderately aggressive. And unless it's like 4th and 15, they haven't put trust in their offense to convert a 4th down yet. I think they might have a change of tune given the situation and 2 missed field goals. And not all that's on the kicker. Some really bad wind in College Station today.
Yeah, the first kick was just low though, so. Or I guess that was the A&M kicker.
Because they had a blocked field goal too.
Yeah.
I don't know. At some point, you just gotta make the kick, man.
At this point, the James Madison and Oregon game might be way more eventful than this one.
I'll tell you this: you'll probably end up seeing more scoring in that one, at least in the first
Yeah.
half.
From one side, that's what we know.
Well, I will say this: JMU, they can't score points. Wade Knight has been an incredible running back, and he's kind of developed as the season went on. Their one Power 5 opponent, they played Louisville. He didn't even play in that game. He kind of burst onto the scene later in the year. But for Wade Knight, he's been incredibly impactful. And remember, James Madison, they lost that game to Louisville by 14. They were up by 7 in the 4th quarter, and then some things went terribly awry. And so I think if they played today on a neutral field, I think they'd beat Louisville. Now, again, Louisville is, like 8-4? But still, I mean, James Madison, I think, at least for a few drives, could still be competitive.
Who does Louisville play in their bowl game?
That's a good question.
I remember seeing it.
I remember picking against them, I think.
Toledo. Boca
Oh,
Raton.
maybe I didn't pick against them then.
Well, Toledo, they've been a solid back school. And Carson Beck is going in motion. It's Wildcat. Up the gut on 1st and goal. That's going to be Keelan Berry, and Malachi Tony. He's winning Wildcat twice before. The first time he got a few yards. The second time he threw an incomplete pass on a designed trick play. Time for another missed field goal? Might be. 2nd and goal. Maybe 2 plays away from seeing that. That one way overthrown. It's 3rd and goal now. For Miami, you got to get points here. I don't care if it's a field goal or what. This is your first time inside the red zone. Or having a goal-to-go situation. You cannot afford another missed field goal or another turnover in this game. You either got to punch it in here or the next play or get a field goal or something. Got to capitalize. Beck takes a snap, looks to throw. He's going to step up. He's got space, and he'll be tackled 3 yards shy of the goal line. It's 4th and goal and decision time upcoming for Miami. Beck a little slow to get up.
Probably go with the kick here.
You'd take the points. See, they've missed 2, but those were from 40 plus. This with the uprights right in front of them. To finally put points on the board in this college football playoff first round game. And it's good. Right down the middle. We have points. The Miami Hurricanes are up 3-0.
It's possible to score. Incredible.
Not a touchdown, though. Haven't seen one of those play
Nope.
yet. But, you know, don't be greedy now. So A&M's going to get the ball back for the first time this half. 10:34 was on the clock.
See if A&M answers right back. Maybe with a touchdown instead.
Wow. You could definitely tell there's some adjustments made for Miami at the break. They came out differently. There was something there we didn't see in the first half.
Beck looked a lot more comfortable in the pocket.
Well, and I mean, this is one of the tougher places to play in college football, so it takes time to settle in. And remember, something a lot of people forget, these teams haven't played since Thanksgiving. And Christmas is in 5 days. I mean, they've went almost a month without playing football. That's not nothing. It takes time to get into the rhythm of things. And but I'd much rather be Miami than A&M right now. I think that their defense has been rock solid. I think that they've made the plays when they've had to, and I think that they've proven that they belong here. I know there are questions about whether it should have been Notre Dame, whether BYU should have been in there. If I made the choice, and like, you know, this is completely disregarding what the playoff rankings had been, I would have Alabama and Miami out, or excuse me, I'd have Alabama out and BYU in, because I just look at what Miami's done. They've got the great win over Notre Dame, and this committee really values how you've played recently. Miami has been on fire recently. They, I believe, beat Pitt by 31 in their last game. Pitt is not a bad team, so I don't know. I definitely think Miami deserved to be in there. Alabama, I'm not sure. Now, of course, you could look at it and say, well, they won last night. Well, you don't know that when you're picking the teams. Notre Dame might have beaten Oklahoma. Who knows? BYU might have. James Madison might have. You know, you're playing hypotheticals. And at the time, you know, Oklahoma had already beaten Alabama. I kind of would have liked to see BYU get a crack at it. A team that finished 11-1 in the regular season. But at the end of the day, and I think I saw this, and I think it's a great point, there's not a single team in the country that can make an argument, that could make the argument there's nothing they could have done. BYU, they could have won their conference championship. Notre Dame beat Miami or A&M, and you're playing in this game right now in a rematch, right? And so every team did control their own destiny. Maybe we don't have the 12 correct teams, but again, BYU, Notre Dame, Virginia, like, if you win an extra game, you're probably in. So it was entirely in their control. So I think while maybe the playoff bracket wasn't right, I think we will come out with the right champion. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on all that. While we had that commercial break, I kind of went on my spiel there, but no, that's been a hot button issue in college football conversation as of late. But we'll leave the hypotheticals to the SEC and get back to playing real football as Miami leads A&M 3-0. Here's a handoff. A little bit of a breakaway. Casey Concepcion goes in motion. Wide receiver with about 7 yards there. Got about 114 people in here right now. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. I can see that there have been quite a few people that have stuck around for most of the stream. So, again, if you're just joining us, watching some good football right now. And, you know, if that first play is any indication, A&M looking like they coming out of the locker room on offense with a little bit of fire. As is, we've got a hurricane down on defense. Not a lot of injuries so far this game. Have we? Has there been an injury?
Not that
Don't
I
think
can
so.
recall.
Yeah. Yeah, thinking about it, I don't think we have, so. Favorite coaching hire of the carousel so far? So, I don't know how much you guys have been paying attention to the coaching changes, but man, I really like James Franklin at Virginia Tech. I think if Virginia Tech could go 10-2 every single year, I think they'd take that. I think if they could maybe make a playoff semifinal once every few years, they would take that. If you put Penn State's success at Virginia Tech and maybe give them one magical season, I think Hokie fans would be okay with that. And so I think it's great for both sides. I think James Franklin as a person needed new scenery. So that's probably what I give credit to. I don't know if you guys have any answers to that question.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you. I think the North Texas coach was also a good hire.
Oh, yeah, Eric Morris going to Oklahoma State. That's a great hire.
Not sure why he would want to go to Lubbock right now, but whatever.
After James Franklin got
Lubbock?
fired, did you guys see how many
You know what I mean.
Still,
people decommitted?
sorry.
Stillwater.
You see how many Penn State people decommitted after James Franklin left?
Yeah, that was terrible. There's max
20
exodus from the program. But
23 decommitted. I forgot how many ended up committing.
so the game's going
It was only
again. It
4.
was first down for A&M. Marcel Reed just threw a pass to nobody. And Miami players treated it like a fumble and picked it up and started running towards the end zone. Refs are talking, and they're going to call intentional grounding. So, just like that, A&M gets backed up. And if this drive stalls for A&M, boy, Miami will be in a great position. This is a team that would have the lead in the ball, and their defense is pretty much doing whatever they want. It's 2nd and 22 for the Aggies of A&M. Marcel Reed steps up into the pocket, throws to his left, and a great cut by the receiver. That time it's Le'Veon Moss. The running back actually went out for, I believe, a swing pass. He gets 5 yards, his first catch of the ball game, coming off an injury that had him sidelined since all the way back in October. Reed on 3rd and 17. He's going to throw it deep. It's picked off. The first interception thrown today by either team with a convoy out in front. Out to the 22. Miami not only has the ball back, but is firing on all cylinders. to open the second half.
Just completely overthrew his guy. Might have had a window there, but just completely airmailed him.
On the replay, it looks like he definitely could have picked up a first down. Just an errant pass. All things considered, Marcel Reed has played very well today. He's been effective with his legs. He's had a $118 passing in terms of passing yards. But he had that fumble on one of their only decent drives in the ballgame. And then now he just completely overthrew his receiver. And now Miami finds themselves in the driver's seat. They're going to go back into a wildcat formation. Malachi Tony for the 4th time today. And now they're going Philly special. Beck somehow gets the ball back and now he'll run.
Interesting play call there.
A lot of creativity for what will amount to about 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Actually, they're going to give him less. I guess from my angle, it was tough to tell where exactly he initiated the slide. So they only give him 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. Beck with another guy in motion. Hands it off, and his running back stumbles and only a couple more yards. So now, as the 12th man once again hollering and on their feet, 3rd and 7. Miami trying to avoid having to take another field goal. And now A&M shows blitz, and Beck communicates with his offense. Play clock down to 10.
Almost a
Beck throws, end zone incomplete. That ball might have been tipped by York, number 21 on the defense. It's 4th and 7. You know, I don't have a sports book or anything, but I have a feeling that if you could bet on live field goal kicks, Polymarker would be an interesting place right now. He's 1 for 3 today. Can he make this one? And no! Doinked! Another miss! Just as I alluded to, a complete disaster in the field goal kicking game so far today. I was wondering how many people would expect him to make this one from 35 out. And just like that, Miami gets nothing again. No points out of the interception. And A&M will get the ball back. At what point do you just stop trusting your kicker and just start going for it on 4th down?
I don't know. I think that point has already passed. I think you have to start. I think you have to start going for it. But I mean, I think you still have to maybe try your kicker if on long 4th downs on spots where it really doesn't make any sense to go for it. But I think if there is any case to be made to go for it, I think you need to go for it.
Yeah, you know, if it's 4th and goal, but from 20 yards out, you should probably take the field goal, right? But I think anything, like, what would be your parameter? Anything within 10 yards on 4th down, go for it?
It depends on how close you are, right? Like if you're at the 30-yard line, you might try to kick. But if you're closer than that, you might go for it. 'Cause if you don't get it, then you are still able to pin them back deep.
See, that's not a bad idea. I would almost say the other way around, though. Because your kicker did make like a 20-yarder. He made one. But yeah, I didn't think about field position at the same time, so. But man, rough day to be a kicker. What if the kicking game, we're 1 for 5 today combined between the two teams on field goals. What was Oklahoma's kicker last
Stendhal
game,
was 1 for 3.
1 for 3. What is it with the field goal kicking game so far this playoff?
You don't have to tell me about it. All these missed kicks are really giving me a
I know.
flashback to the Indiana game.
And the worst, the guy you would have thought was the worst kicker, the Alabama kicker, was 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Made both of his. So special teams have been a very interesting part of this playoff so far.
For those that didn't quite get that reference, Diego here, an Ohio State fan, you were at that 2022 game against Georgia, right, with the missed field goal?
Yeah, I was. My parents were actually right. Their seats were right behind the field goal posts.
Wow.
And then they watched that happen.
That was right as the ball dropped to New York and the new year rang in. Was a heck of a way to start 2023.
And then again with Indiana missing I forgot how many yards. I think it was like a 30-yard kick, I think, when he missed it at the Indiana game.
Well, A&M stands tall, one way or another. I'm watching on ESPNU with the Skycast telecast. And at the bottom, it just showed what we were talking about. Teams combined 1 for 5 on field goals today. There's a run up the gut, courtesy of Ruben Owens for Texas A&M.
A 3-yard gain to the 23-yard line.
It'll be second and 7 after a 3-yard carry. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in with us today. Had a lot of people enjoying the stream. If you are enjoying it, feel free to like and subscribe. I try not to say that, but it does truly help. And, you know, I do sometimes make videos, montages. You know, we're football people around here, just love to celebrate the sport. And no better time than the bowl season, Christmas, and the new year coming up. And time to spend with family and enjoy good football. Here's Ruben Owens. He took that one for 6 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 1 now for A&M. Gotta avoid a punt here. Here's another handoff, and I believe Le'Veon Moss just got over the first down line. Now, I know that we talked about this earlier. What if you look up the stats now to see where Miami's at in terms of first downs? Because their offense has picked up since about the middle of the second quarter, where they had about 3.
Let's see. They're at 7 now. A&M has 10.
Only 7? I guess they've had a few big plays, but... Wow. Thought it was more than that. I guess they had that interception that set them up in good field position.
Yeah.
Here's a first down for Marcel Reed. He's going to roll to his right, step up in the pocket, now take it, and he'll be met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard or two. So that'll bring up a second down.
Both teams are still under 200 total yards. Miami at 144 and A&M at 190.
That's wild.
Almost into the third also.
Yeah, less than 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Reed puts a man in motion.
Whoa.
Takes the snap. Rolling to his left. Throws. And whoa! Super late on there. Mike Elko
No
is
flag
furious.
comes out.
Headset is off. No flag yet on my viewing.
I think that should be an unsportsmanlike conduct. That is a non-football move. He's already out of bounds.
No kidding.
I think it'd be considered a late hit. Elko is furious. So contact was made before he went out. So I don't know. I
But
guess
he made that throwing motion well after he was out, though.
that's probably a missed call. I think I agree with you. Reed, no call, rolls to his left, and now fires incomplete. 4th and 4.
Well, if you would have told me one of the first 2 playoff games would be 3-0 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, I would not have guessed this one.
Yeah, that I would have. If it had to be one of the 2 games, I would have picked. I think everybody would have picked Alabama and A&M. I mean, or excuse me, Alabama and Oklahoma. This game right here, these 2 teams last met in Coral Gables. What was it? I guess that they play at the Dolphins Stadium, so I don't know if that's actually within Coral Gables. But anyway, the last time they met, they combined for like 80 points. That was only a few years ago, so very defensive game. Regardless, Miami gets the ball back for the second time in the second half. They'll have an opportunity to drive the full length of the field. We're going to go to a commercial break, it looks like, on ESPN. Now I'm curious. So we talked about how there had never been no scoring through the first half. That's never happened before. When was the last time a team got shut out? Because it's not going to be a blowout, but it could still be a shutout for Miami. I mean, at this rate, this game might end
I don't know if that's
3-0.
ever happened. I don't know if it's ever happened. I'm trying to think of lopsided games, but every lopsided game, the other team at least has gotten on the board.
I know that Michigan State got shut out, I think, in 2015 when they were in the playoffs.
Was that a shutout? Let's see. 2015 CFP playoff. Let's see. Oh yes, it was. They did get shut out by Alabama, 38-0. So that I'm sure that's the last time that has happened.
Oh, it did. It happened one other time too. The next year in 2016, Clemson beat Ohio State 31-0. But again, those were 2 blowouts. 38-0, 31-0. It's been 9 years since that happened.
Don't like hearing about that game either.
Yeah. You guys won the national championship last year, though. It's hard, and you're the 2 seed right now. It's hard to feel too much sympathy for you.
Deal.
But
Yeah, and you won in 14. Like, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
hey,
Oklahoma hasn't won since 2000.
Oklahoma and Nebraska have never even won a playoff game, so
Yeah, they've never won a playoff game, and they've never won the national championship in my lifetime. So,
They've never won a playoff game, really?
no. Well, I mean, the playoff has only been in... playoffs only been in around for, like, 11 years now.
12. This is the 12th season.
This is the 12th, yeah.
So Baker's not the GOAT then.
We're 0-5. We lost to Clemson in 15, and then we lost to Georgia in 17, and Alabama in 18, LSU in 19, and now Alabama in 25.
You guys beat Alabama last year in one of the bowl games, right?
Regular season.
Oh, we beat them in the regular season.
Yeah, regular
season
Yeah.
this year too.
Which basically knocked them out of the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
This
That was
year
a good day.
Nobody wants to see. I have confidence Kirk Cignati and company is they'll knock them out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, their offense kind of woke up. Like, their offense looked pretty good, and like our defense definitely wasn't the reason we lost that game or anything, but we needed a little more from them.
First and 10 for Miami. And a little bit of a breakaway. Broken tackles. There goes Fletcher again. Up to 77 yards on the day, averaging almost 9 per carry. Between both teams, he is probably the single player that has been most consistent in this ballgame. 9 carries for 77 yards. So far
Yeah, I think
today.
you just keep giving him the ball. I mean, how does he only have 9 carries through almost 3/4 of work when he's clearly been your only way of moving the football? I say you give it to him till it stops working.
First and 10 for Miami. Handoff again to Fletcher, and he'll be met for no gain. And I believe something orange on the field. I think that's another mouth guard. Mouth guards.
A lot of mouth. Yeah.
And then a lot of mouth guards.
There's actually 2 down right there.
Yeah, it's just one of them. The Miami ones happen to be yellow, so they look like flags.
Looks like an A&M player is down. I know we've been talking about other games going on.
Oh, did you see how he was down? Hands, the way his hands were locked.
Oh,
I did not see that.
Was he in like the... I don't know what it's called. I'm not a medical stuff. It's not
Like
my
what? Just like
strong suit.
Tua. Like what Tua happened?
Yeah,
to
like,
Tua.
yeah. Well, that's his hands are out. Both his hands are out on the ground. Wow, that looks scary.
I don't know. They're not showing it on ESPN. I'm not sure what broadcast you're watching, but
Well, I saw something like that when he went down. They're not showing a replay. I think that's just where he had his hands. I don't think it was any kind of brain reaction. He's on his feet now, so...
he's walking off on his own power, but it looks like he's going to be done for the day.
Yeah, he does not look to be in great shape. Yeah, again, walking off on his own power, but helmet off, he is clearly in pain regarding something. Well, we'll come right back to the game. 2nd and 9 for Miami. Carson Beck. He'll swing it out left, faking the handoff to Fletcher. And stopped. After about 3 or 4 yards goes his receiver. It's 3rd and 5. And boy, do the Aggies need this one. Miami at this point in the game, they just need to play conservative, run the clock. I think they, even though you're only up by 3, A&M might struggle to score at all this game.
I don't know. I think you just need to keep doing what you're doing. I think your best offense today has been methodical, just being able to run the football and then taking shots off of that. I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing because, yes, you should play slow, but there's still a lot of time left to go full turtle mode.
They give it to Fletcher for 3 yards on 3rd down. Looks like the screen might be lagging a little bit. I think we're okay. I think we're back now.
And it looks like they'll take a delay, move their punter back a little bit, save the timeout.
Miami has punted the ball extremely well so far today.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
They'll take that penalty there with 48 seconds on the clock. So, checking out other scores across the entire NCAA, only one other game going on right now. We'll get you that score update in a minute. As I'm gonna imagine that we're gonna probably get some good old-fashioned commercials after this one, as again A&M has learned to fair catch.
Fair catch called for and made by number 2, Terry Bussey. Aggies take over
A&M will have it at the 15. We'll see if they can get anything going here. It's important that they at least pick up a couple first downs, try to flip the field a little bit, even if they can't get points on this drive. Just to sustain this drive a little bit, coming from someone who's watched Oklahoma football all year, when they're able to move a little bit and not put your defense in such bad spots, it's so much easier.
Thanks to everyone who's joined us, our stream. lagged a little bit there for a second, so apologies about that. I'll try and figure that out. Marcel Reed on 1st and 10, dancing all over the pocket and then sacked.
And that will not help to sustain the drive here. Instantly way behind the sticks. Miami brings 5, and that's more than enough for this elite defensive line.
That'll take us to the
And we're
going
going to put our 4s up.
At the end of 3, it's Miami 3, A&M nothing. To the 4th quarter we go.
Well, it's been a quick game. This game's only been on for what, 2.5 hours, going into the 4th.
With how these teams are playing, I don't know how that's going to go against Ohio State for both of them, to be honest.
Both of these teams do not look like they're going to be they're not going to stack up super well to Ohio State.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe both of these defenses are just playing elite, but the special teams errors definitely need to be cleaned up.
Yeah. You could say that about Ohio State as well.
Hey, you can say that about Oklahoma, so...
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back when this game comes back. All right, welcome back. Sorry, the stream was lagging a little bit. We apologize for that. Marcel Reed, and that's complete on 2nd and 18, not 15. I had that wrong. Apologies there. Throwing downfield. Yeah, we apologize for the stream health. It should be better now. It was struggling for a little bit.
And that one completion was more yards than they had the entire 3rd quarter.
Wow, that was 12. What was that? 15 yards. So
15 yards. They had 14 in the 3rd.
Here's Marcel Reed, steps up into the pocket, throwing, caught. And that's going to be a first down. Ashton Bethel Roman. Aggies dig themselves out of a 2nd and 22 hole to pick up a first down.
Hopefully this builds enough momentum for them to continue throughout the drive.
And Reed rolling to his right. Goes out of bounds, but he'll get a few yards. Again, thank you to everybody for tuning in. We've had a great amount of people in here so far today. And we thank you for joining us in what has been a close but sometimes hard to watch football game between A&M and Miami. Here's 2nd and 8 for Marcel Reed. Jet sweep. Concepcion. He'll get a few in another 3rd down.
7, Casey Concepcion on the carry is brought down by number 41, Chase Smith.
Call it 3rd and 6.
A&M really needs to get the first down here if they want to really start getting points on the field.
This is a key drive. I mean, if you have to punt this away, Miami might be able to run. Even if they don't score, they'll run a few minutes off the clock. And all of a sudden, the way your offense has looked, things are going to go down the toilet and fast. Reed throws to his left. And now, are they giving him the first down? I think they are. Right at the sticks.
Just was able to tiptoe the sideline on that little bubble screen.
Reaching out at the last moment is Mario Craver. We haven't called his name, I don't think, since the first half, where he had that 59-yard catch. It's 1st and 10 Aggies. Now a handoff, moving like a joystick, but ultimately meeting a brick wall is E.J. Smith.
Brought down by number 18, Armando Blunt. A 2-yard gain on the 49-yard line, 2nd down and 8 for the Aggies.
Reed faking the handoff, throwing left. It's Concepcion for about 6, 3rd and 2 now.
Good job staying ahead of the sticks on this drive, apart from that first 2nd and 22.
Yeah, since the quarter change rolled from 3rd to 4th,
5-yard gain brings up 3rd down.
Aggieland has seen a little bit more production for their home team. Heading towards the 11 minutes left mark in this game. Did they draw him off sides?
Yes,
What
they
the
did.
hell? What is that? What happened?
Bit of a flop job by the center, maybe also, or maybe it was the tackle.
The defensive tackle jumps, and then the center falls right onto his back.
That's the first down.
Free first down for A&M.
Did he move it? Does the center move at all? Nope. Not at all. He just runs him over. Look at him laying on the floor. the other tackle giving him CPR while he's on the floor.
A little bit of antics there. Reed rolls right, throws downfield. It's holding. Concepcion. Another first down.
Good catch.
They'll hurry
right
up to the
there.
line here. Don't want to give them a chance to review that one. But they still will. We'll see if that one, if Concepcion was able to get the hands underneath of that one.
If it stands, it's a 21-yard completion.
And it looks like we're going to commercial.
Oh,
One look
well,
at this replay here, and that's incomplete.
Massive review of this game. ESPN will serve you some commercial. Actually, I don't think they are.
I'm getting commercials right now.
I
Yeah,
think
I
you
have
guys are
commercials.
both ahead of me. So I can't do anything to speed my stream up to resync us.
Mhm.
But
The new pretzel bacon sauce.
well, look,
Yeah.
scores around the country. So again, today really is not just a college football playoff. It truly is a loaded day of football. You got, of course, Tulane and Ole Miss later, along with James Madison and Oregon. But also at the lower levels of the NCAA, FCS, you've got the semifinals at 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. You've got the D2 championship later today. And then D3, you had kickoff at 1 and then another at 4, those times in Eastern. But checking in on the one other game across the country going on right now, Johns Hopkins taking out Wisconsin River Falls in the D3 semifinal. The Blue Jays of JHU up 27-21. That is a halftime score. A combined 48 points through the first half. We've seen 3 through 3.5 quarters. As this one, not for offensive fans of good offenses. If you love defense, you love this game. You've had fumbles, you've had special teams making plays, interceptions. It really has been an entertaining game, despite the score being 3-0. So this review, which of course we don't get a replay because they're at commercial break, we'll see where it takes us. I also want to go back. I know we were talking about favorite coaching hire in the carousel. I know that commenter, a Michigan State fan, celebrating the hire of Pat Fitzgerald. So again, he somewhat disgraced former Northwestern coach who was fired for a potential hazing scandal after 18 years at his alma mater, I believe it was. Michigan State, I mean, they've got a proven winner in the Big Ten. He struggled in his final years with the program at Northwestern, but we'll see how he can adapt to the NIL era. I think it'll be an interesting hire. I'm not sure if that's the guy I would have taken at Michigan State. I think you would have liked to see maybe a little bit more of an up-and-coming coach that knows how to handle this NIL era, but maybe taking a few years off is what Pat Fitzgerald needed. That'll definitely be interesting.
And that one has been ruled incomplete.
There you go. Yep, just coming back from commercial break. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for A&M. Would have been a huge play to get them all the way into the red zone. Instead, they're still at about the 41-yard line in Miami territory. 2nd and 10 now that we return. Reed throws to his right, and that one off the fingertips of Concepcion. He has been fed the ball as of late, and now it's 3rd and 10.
What a bit overthrown there.
So, again, about 10.5 minutes left in this ball game. It's 3rd and 10, not 2nd and 20. I guess I wrote that wrong. Here, let's update that.
3rd and 10, play clock winding down.
Reed with 5 on the play clock, signaling to his men, snaps it with 1. I think he got it off. He's going to throw at the sticks. Is that Concepcion? And it's a first down, Aggies. They find a way once again to pick it up.
They go hurry up, and they're going to stop it here.
Another
And they're
review.
going to review it again. They're going to review the
then
spot there.
Yeah, he clearly caught it, so they're going to review the spot.
And then they're going to do a 20-minute commercial break now.
See, this is what bothers me. Like, feed us commercials, but during a review that might, impact the game, like, I think they actually might let us see the replay on this one. And I think he got it.
So do the A&M fans.
Well, imagine that. Here, I forgot to turn
So-
on our crowd noise, though. We'll go back from commercial. Yeah, the background noise you're hearing, refs, PA announcer, and the crowd. This is live from ESPN without their commentators. So you could hear the real sounds of the ball game.
You hear Mariah Carey playing in the background?
So the ruling on the field is first down. They're giving us a first down.
I don't know if you're going to be able to overturn that. It's really close.
I think literally a few shavings of pigskin is about all that got across, but I still think it's first down. I think it's way too close for you to overturn. I mean, you've got a blurry shot. A rolling on the field's a first down. I think you got to keep it at that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, A&M, this is shaping up to be one of their best drives of the entire day. Not that that is a hard accomplishment. They have 0 points, but still.
And it will be upheld.
First down, Aggies. Someone made a good point. We're lucky this is a first round game where there's no bowl game attached, because otherwise there would be a game MVP. I don't know who you give the game MVP to. I mean, probably a player.
I think it all comes down to what happens in these last 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's not been a single star that has shined.
Maybe the fans.
There
Maybe the fans will get it.
Give it to the fans, who threw
Yep.
eggs earlier in the game.
Yep.
Under 10 minutes to go. Reed on first down. Surveys and will fire to his left side. And Mario Craver, he was big in the first half. He's got a first down there.
Good spin move.
He practically karate kicked his defender with the spin move. He picked his leg up and now
Right,
we've got a
right into his
hurricane.
back.
So Hurricane down on the play with 9:44 on the clock and another first down for A&M. Mario Cristobal comes over to check on his player. It's number 99 on the defensive front. That is Ahmad Martin Sr., I think that is. He has 1 tackle on the day. You know, looking at the defensive stats, if you did have to give out an MVP, how about Keontae Scott, number 0 on Miami's defense? 2 sacks, 3 TFLs, 6 total tackles. He's had himself a great game getting into the backfield. As ESPN will cut to commercial. On the other side, for the defense of Texas A&M.
Who got the pick on Miami?
Yeah,
What
that's
play
what I
was
was trying
that?
to look for. Let's see here. Bryce Fitzgerald, number 13. He himself, I do not believe, has recorded a tackle yet this game. Well, as we're at commercial break, hopefully that Miami player's all right. We hope for his health. Never want to see that prolonged injury that saw Mario Cristobal, head coach of the Hurricanes, come onto the field. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in. I run the Colvark Sports Channel. I'm a Nebraska fan. I'm here with Brady of the Brivical Channel, Oklahoma fan, and then Diego, an Ohio State fan. Watching some football a few days before Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody out there. And again, I thank you all for tuning in. Had a great crowd so far today. If you have any talking points during these commercial breaks, as always, feel free to leave them in the chat. And, again, thanks for tuning in. We don't ask a lot, but a like and subscription does help us a lot make football content. So while you're here, if you're enjoying the stream, we would appreciate it. And so, but again, just love watching some good football. It's been really just a great game so far. Even though the score's been 3-0, I feel like you've had a little bit of everything. Any game where, and we talked about this earlier, a fan was ejected for throwing eggs in the Texas A&M crowd. So, I mean, this game really has had everything. Missed field goals, blocked field goals, huge returns, interceptions, fumbles. Really, the only thing it hasn't had is points, but big plays all around, and as exciting as a 3-0 game gets. And best of all, we've got a game in the fourth quarter. Aggies entering scoring position.
I'll be right back.
Marcel Reed on 1st and 10. 2-snap count. He looks to his right, then pulls it down and is sacked. Getting in the backfield is number 3, Masor, for the Hurricanes. Akeem Mesidor, excuse me. He's now at 1.5 sacks, 5 total tackles for him. A 3-yard loss that'll bring up 2nd and 13 coming off the injury timeout. That is the 5th sack on A&M today for a total loss of 26 yards. Marcel Reed, handoff. And better than some of the runs we've seen today out of A&M. I believe that was E.J. Smith up the gut for a few. Gets about 5. Third and 8. Under 8:30 to go. Reed with Smith as the sole back, running back that is, to his right. Puts another man in motion. A&M has loved their motion today. Ball's on the ground. They're going to call it incomplete. It was caught and then immediately dropped. They're going to say it was a drop. A lineman scooped it up. It was just a short underneath route. It actually would have been good for A&M. Could have advanced it a few yards. As is, it's 4th and 8. And here comes a 35-yarder. Teams have combined for 1 for 5 on field goals today. This one to give A&M their first points ever in the college football playoff. It's up, and it is right down the middle. We have a tie ball game.
Impressive kick. The laces were the wrong way there, and the kicker was able to make the adjustment and still make the kick.
He had his first one blocked, not the second one. A&M gets it up and through, and finally scores points to retie the game.
Yeah, Holder couldn't get the laces turned, but no problem for Bond.
8:03 to go, and Miami will get the ball back. Although I guess that's not guaranteed. For all we know, they could go onside kick. We saw a fake punt earlier for A&M that almost cost them 3 points at the end of the first half. But Miami's field goal kicking unit is 1 for 4 today. It ended in another missed field goal there. So, it'll be a kickoff when we return. Presumably, we'll go back to Miami, though. In a tie ball game, I mean, this game, who knows? This one
Finally,
might
some points up.
finally for A&M. This would be one of the games of all time to have go into overtime.
And if this goes into overtime,
It could
it'll be
a
rough.
very interesting overtime with the kicking struggles. It could come down to a kick.
Well, and that's not even to mention the fact that, I mean, both of these teams just haven't been able to convert from anywhere in the field, let alone the red zone, for most of this game. I mean, just a field goal for either team, and it's not like they haven't gotten down the field somewhat, but... So I would love to see this game go to overtime 3-3, simply to see how on earth these teams handle that. Like, they are not... These offenses have not been pretty to watch, to put it bluntly. And so, I will say, statistically, I mean, 66% completion rate for Marcel Reed, 186 yards. He's had the one pick and the one fumble. He's actually been pretty decent otherwise. Rushing-wise, he technically only has 17 yards, but his rushing stats have been decimated by sacks as of late, which is ultimately what slowed down their momentum on this drive and put them in a situation where they had to kick. So with 8:03 to go, this one's going to come down to the wire. Last year, to this point, we have never seen a college football playoff first-round game finish as a one-score contest. If Oklahoma makes a couple field goals last night, or just one of a couple field goals, that one's probably a one-score game. But alas, in the 6th ever first-round contest in the CFP, we might have ourselves our first one-score battle. This game has been intense. It's been back and forth in terms of, you know, who's had the momentum, but just not points. Alas, we rest at 3-3. To boot it away, and now the ball falls over again. You know, this is only the 4th kickoff we've seen today, and part of the reason why these field goal kickers have struggled so much is because of the wind. And you can see it on full display as they try to kick it off. That ball rolled off the tee 5 yards, and after just one miscue there, they're going to bring in a holder. To boot it away for A&M. And that one's fair caught. Now, I've got a question. So, obviously it's windy. I genuinely wouldn't have been surprised if, for whatever reason, they went for a fake onside, knowing how risky A&M has played it at times today, especially on special teams. That just seemed to be like something they would totally do.
I think you gotta trust your defense.
Well, I mean, they have played well. I guess my question is, what on earth would happen if the wind blew it over, they want an onside kick? Like, can they do an onside kick with the holder? Is that...
I don't know.
I don't know if that's ever been done. Anyway, probably a completely irrelevant thought. And obviously, if you're doing a real onside kick and the other team knows it, you'll probably just set the ball down on its side. But regardless, you know, that was just a random thought. Probably completely irrelevant, but filling this space. And I guess... So I was confused. I saw the flag. I think there was an offside penalty on the kickoff for Texas A&M. Which... Could that was that maybe on the holder? Because I know the holder can still technically not be past the line where he's kicking. This is a weird situation. But we're going to get another kickoff from 5 yards back. perhaps opening up a return for Miami. And this kick is actually better than the last one and will go into the end zone anyway. Very weird sequence for it all to end up exactly the same with it being brought out to the 25 on a touchback. A little bit more juice in the A&M crowd now as Miami finds themselves once again tied with the Aggies. They did not go away, and Carson Beck now got to try to lead his team to a lead in the fourth quarter.
He has only 80 throwing yards right now.
Not his best day. The Georgia transfer. Here's a handoff. Fletcher. He finds space.
Oh.
To the 42. One of his longer runs of the day. One of the longer runs of either team. And just like that.
It's not his best day. It's also definitely not his worst day, as he's thrown 5 interceptions in one game before. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for Carson Beck. That was against Louisville, I think. But
that's rough.
Fletcher's now up to 97 yards. He almost leads. He's got more yards than his quarterback does have passing. So this is.
Ball comes out.
As I haven't seen it yet. That one's caught. And you're right, that is stripped. And A&M picks it up.
Yeah, I think that's possession. I think that's.
He definitely made a football move. That is without a doubt A&M football.
Good strip there.
7.
The Aggies have all of the momentum.
Yeah.
And at home, too, I mean, it's going to be tough for Miami to regain it this late in the game. A beautiful strip from number 26 on the defense. And the takeaway goes in favor of the Aggies.
First down and 10 for your Aggie offense from the Texas A&M 47-yard line.
So
I should be going somewhere.
What a change of events there. As Reed will hand it off to Ruben Owens. So I guess no need for an onside kick. They get it right back anyway. And with under 7 to go, A&M now finds themselves with an opportunity to take the lead. And again, they did not score it until roughly 8 minutes left in the ball game. On track to be the lowest scoring game in the history of the college football playoff. The first game ever to have no points by halftime. It's not pretty. Aggies will take the win regardless if they can get it. There's a pass, and there's a first down. And some extracurricular after the play. The A&M sideline is getting fired up. This crowd right back into it. They sounded dead not too long ago. Now Reed and company is moving the ball well. They hurry it up. Reed. And he's sacked. And the crowd goes mild.
There goes the momentum.
Stadium pulse and momentum falling immediately after the 2-yard sack. .5:30 to go in this one. 2nd and 11. Reed fakes the handoff, keeps it. Reed gets rocked. He'll get about half of what he needed on the designed, what appeared to be a designed quarterback scramble.
Looks like a bit of an inverted veer. Defenders took the outside, so he pulled it and took it inside.
It's 3rd and 6, and this might be, you might look back at a play like this as one that decides the game. Under 5 minutes, Aggies at the Miami 38. How aggressive do they play? 5 on the play clock. Reed. Rolling, Reed. He's sacked. A flag down
Flag
as well.
out.
Flag thrown. Flag is thrown.
Miami defender standing there with no helmet, so you would expect it would be some sort of hands to the face penalty on A&M.
Yeah.
And if you're Miami, do you accept this to try to push them out of field goal range, or do you take this and say it's 4th down?
I don't know if this is field goal range, though. The wind's been terrible all day.
It's very much the edge of field goal range.
It'd be about 50. It'd be 50 plus from right here, but again, the flag.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Number 6.
Just hands to the face,
Penalties decline.
and they will decline it.
So they'll take the sack. It'll be a loss of 1 or 2, I believe. Maybe he got forward. And now a big decision here. Go for it. Do you punt? I don't know what you do. It's 4th and 9. It looks like they're going to go for
And the
it.
offense is coming out.
This could be trying to draw him off sides. It's worked once already this game.
Well, that would only really be get into field goal range.
Reed.
Looking to the sideline.
He's clapped his hands 3 times, and they still haven't snapped it.
8 seconds.
This clock draining. They might take a delay of game and punt it. And honestly, given how their defense is played, that wouldn't be a bad option, I don't think.
So that strip tackle goes nowhere.
If anything, it helps the field position battle a little bit.
Well, in a game like this, winning that is probably winning the game.
Yep.
What a game.
Hoping for at least 1 touchdown.
That snap is low. It'll be collected and then returned and some space. We've seen 1 big return already. They do bring him down.
Good open field tackle. Questionable decision there. It looked like he almost could have let that one go for a touchback. But decided to try his luck, only got out to the 12 or so.
I mean, if he had a shot, that was a great open field tackle, but if he gets past that one, he could have had a whole lot more. Gamble, still not terrible. It'll get spotted at the 14, so only 6 yards, but he's already proven to be shifty enough to make some big plays earlier this game. 4:02 to go, Miami football. No commercial break, how about it? ESPN gonna let us watch some football as Carson Beck comes out.
The crowd is going crazy.
This is a very loud environment. Tie game late in the 4th. Here's a handoff. Fletcher bursts free, gets a block.
Oh,
Stiff arm still going.
he's still going. Still going.
Down to the
All the way
31.
down to
They
the
could not bring
31.
him down at all.
Powerful running.
The
And that
play of
could
the
be
game.
that could be a player of the game moment right there. for Mark
56
Fletcher.
yards for Mark Fletcher. He's over
153
150.
total. I don't know why I haven't had him run more.
Great blocks downfield from some of the Miami receivers. Helped spring that one.
Great blocks. That can't be understated. 14 carries, 155, 11 yards per carry for Fletcher. He'll get the nod again and goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Gain of about 2 there. But you would think Miami, theoretically, already in field goal range. They've had lots of kicking troubles today, but how conservative do you get? How much of the clock do you try to run here? Texas A&M with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. But this could be the final possession of the game.
Remember, A&M did use a timeout very early in the third quarter on one of the first plays of the second half. Here's Fletcher. He breaks free again!
Wow. Looked like he could get sacked there.
Putting the team
Fletcher
on his
converts.
back on the delayed handoff.
And that
Another
should take us
first
to the
down.
2-minute warning. Unless A&M decides to take a timeout before then. And it doesn't look like they will.
That early timeout usage, if you go back into our broadcast, we mentioned how using that timeout could come back to haunt A&M. They're now in a situation where even if they get the ball back, there won't be much time left. Miami only needs a field goal, and they can escape College Station with a 6-3 victory.
But with your kicking troubles, how much do you push to get closer? How much do you push to get maybe a touchdown instead of having to trust your kicker?
So his one make was like 20 yards out. I think that, and I don't even think, I think you also got to understand there's something about the wind. The wind has been terrible. That was talked about before this game, and it's affected both teams. But I do think there's something to be said about how the kicker, it's how much is his mentality, like 1 for 4 kicking. How is he mentally, like, holding up? Does he feel confident? But if he does, I mean, I think you can trust him to get 10 yards, right? The wind is not much of a factor for a 20-yard field goal kick. It matters more for a 50-yard kick, right? And so I think you actually don't want a touchdown. You just want to get this thing down the field and hopefully push for a game-winning kick to seal a victory. But
I think you keep running it with Fletcher. He's been your best offense anyways. So I think just playing the conservative run game is probably the best thing.
That can't be understated. Mark Fletcher, Carson Beck, for reference, has 92 yards. Marcel Reed on the other side has 197. Those are passing numbers. Rushing, Mark Fletcher has 15 carries for 167 yards, 56-yard carry just a couple plays ago to set him up in beautiful field position. And they're in a situation where they can walk this one off with a field goal and escape one of the toughest environments in college football with a victory. A game that had no points through 2 quarters saw Miami score in the first half of the third. A&M scored with about 8 left in the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us, don't let the score fool you. This has been an exciting game with all sorts of twists and turns. But at the end of the day, Miami controls their own destiny at this point. Marcel Reed and company can only sit and watch. Many criticized Miami, said their head-to-head victory over Notre Dame, that was early in the season. This team, they're not going to compete in College Station. I mean, there were people that thought that Notre Dame could go out and win the playoff. Miami, they didn't belong. And I think that if we've seen anything today, they could give a fight to just about anybody in the country. This has been a very physical game. Miami is a very physical team that's been on full display today. The American flags are blowing with intensity up above the stadium as seen by the shot they just showed. So again, wind is definitely still a factor. If they can't get it up closer, Mark Fletcher is going to barrel forward for another few yards. A&M will use a timeout. He's up to 170 on the day.
Minute 55 left, 1 timeout left for A&M, so best case scenario, unless they miss the kick or a fumble or something like that. With a field goal, best case scenario for A&M, you get the ball back with about a minute left, no timeouts, and needing a field goal.
That's going to be tough.
It's definitely not impossible, but with how they're kicking and how their offense has looked, it definitely it's not a favorable position to be in.
But here's the thing, Miami has all 3 timeouts. If they can get 7 yards, I don't even think you want to score a touchdown here. I know Texas A&M has struggled offensively, but they've also been very clutch this season. They pulled off a 27-point comeback a month ago. So I don't want to see the ball. If I'm Miami, I don't want to see the ball in Marcel Reed's hands late in this football game. I want to settle this now. My goal is to get a first down, drain the clock to a few seconds, and trust my kicker. They only need 7 yards to almost put it on his foot entirely, as Fletcher will get another 3. It'll be 3rd and short.
3rd and 4 or 5. How aggressive do you get with your play call here?
I'd give it to Fletcher again. Maybe I would maybe switch it up. They've been running basically halfback dives the last few plays. I would maybe aim to, switch it up a little bit. Maybe give him an opportunity to bounce outside, but draw up something schematically on the offensive line that differentiates from what you have been doing. But I mean, the bottom line is A&M's now out of timeouts. So 5 yards on this play, they could drain it to 1 second and kick a game-winning field goal. So literally 5 yards. Again, it's no guarantee he makes the kick, but if he can't make it, 5 yards could be all they need to win this football game. So this is going to come down to it. Again, A&M now out of timeouts. Miami fully loaded still. 150 on the clock.
I think it's important that you run something to the middle of the field here. Try to keep the ball in the middle, so if you need a field goal, you're set up in the middle instead of having to kick from a hash mark, especially with this wind.
Well, that's a good point. And the 2 field goals we've seen both teams make, because again, they're combined 2 for 6. The 2 they've made have been right down the middle. Instead, they're going to go with the sweep to the outside. Touchdown, Miami!
First touchdown of the game.
We'll see if they regret that decision to go all the way into the end zone instead of going down at the 1.
If he goes down, this game's probably over. If they can make a
then
field goal.
it's on the leg. You can set yourself up in the middle, take a knee, and kick a 21-yard field goal with time expiring for the win.
They decide to
Now, instead, A&M has a minute 44. No timeouts to go get a touchdown to respond.
Wow.
At least we get to use the touchdown graphic.
There you go. I will say there was a part of the sicko in me was rooting for. I mean, how cool would it have been to have a playoff game at 6-3? That would be something. But as is, Miami makes the extra point and will go up 10-3 with 1:44 to go.
Makes the extra point from basically the same spot they would have possibly had a game-winning field goal try if they had decided to go down at the 1.
So here's the thing. I really don't like that choice by Malachi Tony to take that one into the end zone. I mean, the bottom line is this. If I get that you would be on the right hash, but literally if he steps out at the 1 and puts a T, there's a little bit, I don't know what the coaches told him. Mario Cristobal, obviously known for having bad clock management, but if he just steps out at the 1, they can drain this all the way down to 2 seconds, and
you can then center it up. You can use those kneel plays to center the kick.
And still end up having like a field goal
24,
kick from the 3.
Yeah, like a 24-yard field goal, basically.
And we just saw him make one like that from extra point range from 20 yards out. So clearly, I think Miami could have won the game already.
Yeah, if this game ends up going to overtime or A&M ends up making this one close, we'll have to think back to this play.
Finally, says someone in the chat, we've all been there this game. But again, Miami, curious decision. Giving A&M a chance. They could basically have this game won already, but they decide to score the touchdown and not save for the extra point. A&M ball. What are they going to do with that in their first ever college football playoff appearance?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, not everyone's Ohio State, man. Not everyone's in it every year.
Really?
Is this Miami's first playoff appearance?
It is. Both of these teams. So, no commercials. We're going to get right into it. Marcel Reed on 1st and 10. Drops back. Eyeing downfield. Escapes a sack, then throws a check down to E.J. Smith as running back.
And does a really good job of getting out of bounds there to stop the clock.
Again,
No timeouts for
A&M.
A&M.
Minute 35 left. Gain of about 5 on that play. Still a long ways to go. You need 7.
2nd and 5 for A&M with 1:35 on the clock.
But you cannot take a sack here. A sack is killer.
Reed. Tight end in motion. And he'll throw to the right side again. Casey Concepcion for a first down.
And out of bounds for about gain of 6 or 7. And there's a flag down.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Wow. Unbelievable. They're talking about this flag here. Seem a little confused. And it's roughing the passer. Wow, what a huge penalty. It's an extra 15 yards. And now they're going to be at midfield. That's on Armando Blunt. And a little bit of a flop job by Reed, but definitely is a little, and he's happy about that call. All the way up to the 50 now.
Again, just a reminder, Miami could have kicked a de facto extra point for the win. They elect to take the touchdown and give Marcel Reed the ball back, and they're already in plus territory. Reed steps up, nearly intercepted, but caught by Borkacher.
Wow.
Goes through the hands of a defender, and then Nebraska transfer with the first down.
Minute 23 left. Clock will start running after the chains are set here. So they'll hurry up to the line.
Under 120. Reed steps up, has space. Clock still running.
He's going to be short of the first down.
He's
going to be short of the first down. The clock is still running. Nearing a minute.
They need to hurry up.
So about 60 seconds on the clock. It's 2nd and 1.
Under a minute.
Reed throws to his left. Incomplete.
Oh, that would have been
out of the hands of
Come on,
Lucas.
that should be a catch there.
Or that was Craver, sorry.
Mario
Good
Craver.
defense.
We've called his name a bunch today.
Third and 1 here. You don't want to see a 4th down for the game here. If you can pick it up here, that's what you really want to do.
Here's a handoff. E.J. Smith
There we go.
gets a first down with ease.
Clock will stop momentarily. 49 seconds to go. A&M at the 19-yard line. Trips to the left.
Reed. And he's got a man underneath. Casey Concepcion to the 4. For the first time today, they have 1st and goal.
Out of bounds, 39 seconds left from the 4.
Just a reminder for those watching, Miami could have virtually guaranteed themselves a win if they had went down at the 1 instead of taking a touchdown. Their kicker, who has been shaky today, proceeded to make an extra point from the same distance. Clock management by Mario Cristobal, it's bewildering. This game could be over at 6-3. Instead,
Empty
Reed,
backfield, orbit motion.
39 seconds, steps up and throws back to the end zone. Incomplete. Just
He's 2nd and goal. 33 seconds left. Time not a huge issue. You'd think it would be difficult to be tackled inbounds from the 4-yard line. And just about a foot away there. About 6 inches away from tying the game.
he caught that out of the back of the end zone. but his foot was, like you said, about half a foot out of bounds. But again, it was caught that close to tying the game. Marcel Reed in a one-back set. He's got Owens on his left, and now throws to him. End zone! Hospital ball falls incomplete.
Oh,
And that
And
looked
both
dangerous.
players are down.
wow.
And it looks like the Miami defender took the brunt of that one. He's still down.
That does not look good. That looks like a very serious injury. He just got nailed in the head. His teammate immediately called to the sideline. Was jumping up and down, beckoning for people to run in. This looks bad.
Injured again.
So
Reed was looking for his running back. He would have just couldn't hold on to that one. A little head-to-head contact. Didn't necessarily look like targeting, but just a big hit. Hit him in the hands, couldn't hold on through contact. And if you just look at that bang-bang, it almost would look like the A&M took the bigger brunt of that hit, but the Miami player is more banged up here.
Well, it's often said that some of the worst looking injuries come off what appear to be less intense plays or more harmless plays, at least appearance-wise.
Just be able to jog off now.
That did look scary. He was immediately went to his head. That did not look good. So very glad to see he was okay. That was, for a moment there, looked very scary on the field.
Definitely looks like a concussion, though. He's kind of stumbling around a little bit. But 3rd and goal now, 28 seconds left. 2 plays to get in the end zone here.
There is a conversation to be had here. So, again, for those that are listening to us who don't have visual, the player did go into what appeared to be a fencing response, which is a sign of some sort of trauma. So, again, hoping he's okay. He got off the field. So
3rd and goal now.
Segue to a 3rd and goal. Reed with Smith on his right and a one-back set. He'll look to the end zone. Intercepted! Miami will win.
That is game. That is game.
Miami made it much harder than they needed to. But A&M,
That is
Marcel Reed,
game.
cannot come through when it mattered the most.
Unbelievable.
And barring a miracle, fumbled kneel or something, this game is over.
In College Station. That's crazy.
I will say this. I do wonder how much that injury timeout weighed on A&M's momentum. I mean, they were firing on all cylinders. And with 24 seconds left, A&M out of timeouts, Miami can kneel it down. They made it way harder than it had to be. They could have settled practically for a field goal from extra point range and won this football game.
Looked like there was a A&M receiver on the ground. I didn't see if he just fell. Obviously no flag there, but
And
that will do it.
Regardless. A kneel down, and Mario Cristobal has led his team for the first time in their history to a college football playoff victory. Final score: Miami 10, A&M 3.
Mark Fletcher has to be your player of the game. Got them down into field goal range with that big run. Was basically their entire offense.
And then they'll face
Miami
against Ohio State on the 31st.
In a thriller.
Yeah, how are you liking that in the matchup, Diego?
Miami's if it's Ohio State at its best, it's gonna be a blowout. And to be honest, even Ohio State, how they played against Indiana, I still think we would beat Miami right now, how they played. But who knows? I mean, Ohio State hasn't played football since Big Ten championship, so who knows?
Yeah, I think the top 4 teams in the country are a step above everybody else this year. Does that mean they'll win? Maybe, maybe not. But I think just based off of resume and eye test, those top 4 teams have looked a step better than everybody else.
Again, your final score, number 10 Miami, 11-2 now. Both teams now 11-2 on the season. Number 10 Miami 10, number 7 A&M 3.
And A&M season ends on a whimper. 2 losses to orange teams.
In back-to-back games, they started 11-0. One of their best seasons in program history comes to a crashing halt. So I want
They
to
may
thank
not have gone 8-4, but they still disappointed.
I want to thank everybody who tuned in with us for today. I mean, what a game! Thank you to everybody for tuning in. I know the chat's going a little crazy right now. A&M brutal loss. If you enjoyed the stream, we'd really appreciate a like and subscription. It really helps us out a lot. And to keep, I hope at this point we could hopefully maybe do some more games this college football playoff. If this is what the first round's looking like, this is going to be one heck of a bracket. And we still got 2 more games today. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Leave a like and most of all subscribe. So if we do go live for another game this postseason, you can tune in and hear from us again. And wow, what a game. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And again, for those of you new here, this channel mostly sports videos, sports prediction videos, reaction videos, and occasionally some montages. Not always the most active, but the more support we get, the more videos I can make. And so I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you want to hear more from us, again, feel free to stick around, leave a subscription. But above all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Brady, his channel Brevical in the description, and then Diego for joining us today. It's been incredible. And again, Diego, Ohio State got Miami down the second round. So
Good chances for us. That's all I got to say.
And last season, I'll say this, the higher seed won every single first round game. Through 2 first round games this season, the lower seed has won both. Is that good juju for Tulane and Ole Miss? I don't know.
I don't know.
I would say so.
We'll
I
have
think
to
they'll cover. I think they'll make it interesting.
I think Tulane, especially with how physical they are. And James Madison, I think people are doubting their run game. I do think they go into Eugene and they'll put up points. It's not like they're going to get shut out 50-0. It'll be tough, but 2 upsets already. The college football playoffs are here, and they're fun. Once again, your final score, number 10 Miami 10, number 7 A&M 3.
He kind of forgot who they were. And like you said, Sean,
Any last words from you guys?
We may have not had the result we wanted last night, but Boomer Sooner.
Ohio State, they're taking on these same Hurricanes in the next round, so Diego, I'm a Nebraska fan. I got a game against Utah to look forward to. But again, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to Brady and Diego for hanging with us. Again, final score: Miami wins it off a pick, 10-3, in a game where all points were scored in the second half. Heck of a ball game. So long from College Station.